Our next guest, the returning guest, I could barely get her on the air because she came into the studio. I love talking to her. She's got great energy. We're going to talk about immigration and the family. Ellen Kief of course, the law office of Ellen Kief. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm great. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. You know, so many companies I talk to, immigration is an important part of strategic advantage, isn't it?
It's terrific. I mean, it involves everybody. We live in a global world,
Right.
and we need to get on board with all the immigration, the folks that come here to the U.S., the intercompany transfers, people who want to start businesses here,
Right.
and look to entrepreneurs.
And especially Boston. Boston's sort of a magnet for the best of the best worldwide. And if you want to recruit, we really have a pool of people to recruit that other cities and countries don't have, and you have to understand how to navigate through the immigration process, correct?
Yes, that's correct. And, there are a lot of issues in terms of immigration, us wanting to increase the numbers. For example, we have what's called specialty occupation H-1B visas for the kids and adults who graduate from programs here and want to work for companies. That's a limit that we've been working on with Congress to try to expand. But there's other ways to come here. There's businesses all over the world who say, you know what, I want to open up a subsidiary here. I want to open up some type of office here.
More than ever
Can
before.
I do that? Yeah,
This
and
is
absolutely.
This is an entrepreneurial, this city incubator.
We have what's called intercompany transferees. So there's folks that
Right.
are abroad and they
I've
want
done
to.
that
Yeah.
multiple times. It wasn't
Perfect.
me, but I've done that with people.
So we have these L visas that under high scrutiny, absolutely, for
Right.
executives and managers and specialists in their occupations to come here, open up a new business or have an existing business and bring their talent here and bring their businesses here. So that's a wonderful option.
Since 9/11, is it harder? I would assume there's a lot more scrutiny from somewhere coming. I don't know, but is it harder to really get through the system than it used to be?
It is. There's a lot more layers. There's a lot more scrutiny, like you
who's
say.
what's their real? I would think the government would be thinking, what's the real agenda?
Absolutely.
With everybody, they assume
Yeah.
guilty before they're innocent.
Yeah, and I think they want to make sure that if people are coming here, that what they're doing is what they're saying they're doing. And
Right.
sometimes we criticize and we say, it's a little bit too much, and it's hard to get the balance. I think it's hard to get the balance between that security, safety, and being able to process. But
Well, maybe I'm moving around too fast, and if I am, just tell me. Are white-collar immigrants getting more scrutinized than some of the blue-collar immigrants who
No,
are
I
coming
don't
over
think
the
so.
border in more traditional ways?
I wouldn't say so. I think it absolutely depends on, you have to look at the types of visas they want, you have to look at the person's background, what it is they want to do, and see whether or not they meet the criteria that the government sets out. So I wouldn't classify any one
Okay.
group in particular.
Well, I know that there's a company I sit on the board in Canada, and again, America's greatest trade partner is Canada by far and away.
Yes.
Far and
Yeah.
away.
Far and away, yeah.
Yeah, people don't realize how big it is because it's so
Yeah.
quiet. And I always thought that NAFTA was going to make it easier, but I'm not sure it did. Did it?
Yeah, so NAFTA, I
Because
think.
then it was 9/11 after NAFTA.
Yeah. So NAFTA was very helpful in many respects. We have what's called a TN. It's sort of a treaty national. We have a treaty with Canada and Mexico
Right.
that makes it easier. People can go to the border, come here for up to 3 years, depending on the job. The problem with NAFTA is that you have to fit into a specific job category. Those categories were created over 20 years ago.
Right.
And we haven't updated. So the computer, technology, engineering, types of job descriptions and titles that we see today didn't exist back then. We have also what we call managerial type jobs that don't quite fit under the definition of before, and those are the ones that get highly scrutinized. So it did help, but we really need to take it to the next step. We have to update what the job descriptions are, and we have to update the system.
If somebody else wants to work with you and get some of your expertise, how would they find you?
So there's a few ways they can go onto my website, www.kieflaw.com. So it's KIEFLAW.com. They can feel free to call me at 617-482-0200. And, always happy to hear from folks.